Beloved chosen one, listen. Heaven has turned its gaze toward you. The noise of the world fades, but one voice remains constant, the voice that called you by name before the foundations of the earth. You are not a mistake. You are not invisible. And you are certainly not forgotten. There is a divine light resting on you tonight, a sacred mark that distinguishes you from the rest. You have walked through seasons where silence felt like rejection, where prayers seemed unanswered. Yet through it all, heaven never looked away. You must understand this truth. God's eyes have been on you the entire time. There were moments when you questioned, does God even see me, when your heart broke in the quiet hours and your tears soaked the pillow? But every tear was counted, every sigh recorded in heaven's ledger. You were being shaped, not shamed, refined, not rejected. Your pain was not punishment, it was preparation. And now, heaven whispers again, I see you. You have survived battles that others never even knew existed. You've carried the weight of prayers that seemed to go unanswered. Yet here you are, still standing, still believing, still becoming. You are not just surviving, you are being sculpted into something magnificent. God is proud of how you've endured without losing your tenderness, how you've chosen to love when it was easier to shut down. That kind of endurance is divine. That kind of faith stirs heaven. As you listen now, understand that this is not coincidence. This is divine appointment. Heaven has paused everything around you to speak directly to your soul. You are stepping into a moment that realigns everything: your identity, your confidence, your vision. You are chosen not for comfort, but for purpose. You are seen not for your perfection, but for your perseverance. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 34, verse 15. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. Heaven sees your quiet obedience. You didn't give up when you could have. You forgave when no apology came. You gave when no one was watching. These hidden acts of faith are thunderous in the courts of heaven. They are why God is proud of who you're becoming. He is not impressed by your perfection. He delights in your persistence. Even when you didn't understand, you trusted. Even when you were weary, you worshipped. Even when you were overlooked, you still showed up. There were nights when the silence felt unbearable, but you stayed anchored in faith. When others turned away, you remained steadfast, believing that even in darkness, his promises were still true. That kind of faith shakes kingdoms and awakens destiny. Your obedience has been a melody rising to heaven, soft but powerful, unnoticed by many yet adored by God. Each act of kindness, each whispered prayer, is a seed of light sown into eternity. Heaven is responding, aligning blessings beyond what you can imagine. Beloved, this is the moment where heaven's applause meets your endurance. Every unseen effort has been seen. Every quiet prayer has been heard. You are not growing unnoticed, you are growing under divine supervision. When you walk into rooms, light walks in with you. When you speak, atmospheres shift. You may not feel it yet, but the evidence of heaven's approval is already surrounding your life. God is not distant. He is near, closer than the air in your lungs. And tonight, he's whispering through this message, I am proud of who you are becoming. You're learning to surrender, to trust, to rise again after every fall. That transformation is not accidental, it's holy. Every delay was divine timing. Every detour was redirection. Nothing has been wasted. So, lift your head. Chosen one. The same eyes that watched you cry are now watching you rise. The same hands that caught your tears are now opening doors. Heaven's gaze is not judgmental, it's loving, approving, rejoicing. God smiles when he looks at you because he sees what you can't yet see, the reflection of his own image growing stronger inside you. You are the proof that light still wins. You are the testimony that faith still works. And because of that, your story is not just yours, it's heaven's declaration that grace still transforms. You've come too far to doubt now. Every scar you carry is evidence of survival, and survival is sacred. Listen carefully, God is not disappointed in you. He is proud of your growth, your humility, your faithfulness in obscurity. Even when you felt unqualified, you kept believing. That is what sets you apart. Heaven has seen it. The earth will soon recognize it. Before you go, take this as your moment of activation. Lift your heart. Breathe deeply. And acknowledge what heaven already knows: you are loved, seen, and celebrated. If this word speaks to your spirit, like, share, and subscribe so that this divine message reaches more chosen ones just like you. And as a prophetic act, comment the number 777 below, symbolizing divine completion and heavenly favor. Let heaven see your agreement. Chosen one. The weight you've carried has not gone unseen. Heaven has watched you bend but not break, cry but not curse, hope when all reason told you to give up. You have been through storms that few could survive, yet you stand bruised. Yes, but burning with quiet faith. You've been stretched beyond what seemed bearable, and though your body and spirit have trembled, your heart never fully surrendered to despair. Every burden you carried became the very altar where God built new strength inside you. You've carried responsibilities that weren't yours alone, loved people who didn't love you back, and kept walking when others sat down in defeat. You've held faith in trembling hands, wondering if God truly saw the weight pressing on your soul. But he did. Heaven has always known how much it cost you to keep believing. The unseen battles, the sleepless nights, the prayers whispered through tears, none of it was wasted. You were being forged in a sacred fire designed not to destroy you, but to make you unbreakable. Sometimes it felt unfair. You looked at others who seemed to have it easier and asked, "Why me?" But deep down, your spirit knew the answer. You were chosen for something greater. The heaviness you carried was not punishment. It was preparation. God was teaching your heart to endure, your soul to trust, and your hands to hold the weight of glory that's now forming around your life. The process was painful, but it was never pointless. The Spirit reminds us in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Those words are not just comfort, they are a divine invitation. When your strength fails, when your voice trembles, when the load feels too heavy, heaven's response is not condemnation, but compassion. The one who called you has never expected perfection, only surrender. He does not ask you to carry everything alone. He asks you to lean into his presence and find rest there. You've tried to be strong for everyone else, haven't you? You've smiled when your heart was bleeding, held others while no one held you. But God never asked you to play hero. He asked you to trust the real Savior. Even now, as you read this, the weight you carry begins to shift. There is divine relief moving through your spirit, reminding you that you were never meant to carry it all by yourself. There is beauty in your burden, for it taught you compassion. You've learned to recognize pain in others because you've known it yourself. That empathy is part of your calling. It's what makes you different. Others may only see your strength, but heaven sees your scars and calls them sacred. Every wound is a reminder that grace met you in the middle of your breaking. Do you remember those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, and yet something invisible gave you just enough strength to take one more step? That was God's hand beneath you. The same hand that lifted you then is lifting you now. You didn't survive by chance, you survived by grace. The weight that once threatened to crush you became the very pressure that shaped your faith into something unshakable. In heaven's eyes, you are a warrior clothed in mercy. Your endurance is your crown. Your resilience is your testimony. The angels watched as you refused to curse God in the dark. You stood when everything tried to break you, and that defiance against despair made heaven rejoice. You are stronger than you think, and gentler than you know, and both are miracles of divine design. There is a sacred exchange happening now. God is taking your burdens and returning peace in their place. You are learning to breathe again, not because the storms have vanished, but because you've learned who commands the wind. You no longer fear the unknown. You walk with the one who knows all things. The weight you've carried was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to build the spiritual muscles that now carry anointing, wisdom, and grace. Look back, not in regret, but in awe. You have endured things that would have destroyed others, and still your heart beats with faith. That is proof of God's faithfulness. You didn't come through this season empty. You came through carrying revelation, compassion, and authority. Now, when others are burdened, you will be the one who helps lift them. Your pain became your ministry. And as heaven watches, God whispers, "I'm proud of you." Those words are not light, they echo through eternity. You have proven that the weight could not break a chosen one. Every test has revealed your true strength. You are still standing, still shining, still believing, and that is what delights heaven most. Chosen one. You remember the fires you've walked through, the moments when life felt like a furnace, when everything around you was burning, and you wondered if anything would survive. You didn't understand it then, but now heaven reveals the truth. You were never being destroyed, you were being refined. The flames you feared were the very tools of transformation. God wasn't trying to punish you, He was purifying you. Every heartbreak, every closed door, every betrayal was fire used to remove what could not go with you into your next season. You see, gold only shines when it has been refined. Before the beauty, there must be burning. Before the crown, there must be crushing. You have endured both, and heaven calls it good. You thought you were losing everything, but in truth, you were shedding the unnecessary. The people who walked away, the dreams that crumbled, the paths that collapsed, all of it made room for divine purpose to rise. You were not abandoned, you were upgraded. In your darkest moments, when you felt like you were being consumed, God was actually consuming the things that were never meant to stay: fear, doubt, shame, dependency on what could not hold you. You were being made new in the fire. The world may see ashes, but heaven sees an altar. The pain became your consecration. The breaking became your blessing. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Malachi. Chapter 3, verse 3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. Can you see it now? He never left the fire. The refiner always stays near the furnace. He watches carefully, ensuring the flame does not destroy, only purify. That's what God has done for you. He has sat beside you through every trial, never taking his eyes off you. When you thought you were alone, his presence was closer than your breath. When you cried out, he was listening. When you almost gave up, he whispered strength into your spirit. And now, the reflection of his image is becoming visible in you. Every season of struggle has revealed more of his character in your heart. That's why you forgive faster now. That's why you love deeper now. That's why you no longer chase what isn't yours, because you've been refined. The refining process is not just about removing impurities. It's about revealing worth. The enemy wanted you to believe that your suffering was meaningless. But look at you. You've come out shining. You've discovered resilience, grace, and wisdom that only fire could birth. What once hurt now teaches. What once broke you now builds others. You carry revelation forged in flame. And that is something the darkness can never steal. You are the living proof that the fire cannot consume what is divine. You have been through rejection, disappointment, betrayal, but instead of bitterness, you've chosen to rise. That decision alone makes you unstoppable. Heaven applauds every time you respond with faith instead of fear. You're no longer fragile, you are forged. You are no longer a victim of your pain. You are the vessel of its purpose. Every scar on your spirit is holy history. It tells heaven's story, written through your survival. The refining was not just about your strength, it was about your destiny. The world will soon see what heaven has been shaping in secret. The glow that's coming from your life will not be because of worldly success, but because of divine substance. You are becoming unshakable, radiant, holy fire walking in human form. Do you feel it? That weight that once crushed you is gone. The smoke is clearing, and the gold of your soul is glimmering through. The lessons you learned in fire will guide others through theirs. You've been refined not for display, but for service. The world needs the wisdom that pain taught you, and God trusts you to carry it with humility. Chosen one, the fire was not the end, it was the beginning of something sacred. The next chapter of your life carries a purity and power that only refinement can produce. Don't despise the process that made you priceless. The gold in you was hidden, but now it shines. You are ready to walk in a strength that is quiet but undeniable, a peace that is fierce yet gentle. And when you look back on the flames, you will no longer see destruction, you will see divine design. You will realize that you were never in the fire alone, you were in the hands of the refiner all along. Before you move on, take a deep breath and type these words below: still I rise. Type it not as a reaction, but as a declaration that the fire failed, that your purpose survived. When you write it, you seal your agreement with heaven that no flame can consume what God has chosen to refine. Chosen one, heaven whispers your name, even when the world forgets, even when people misjudge or overlook you. Heaven has not stopped speaking about you. Your name has been carried through the chambers of light, echoed in the presence of angels, and spoken in divine conversations beyond your understanding. You are known intimately, intentionally, eternally. The same God who hung the stars in place has written your name on his hands, and he looks upon it with affection and pride. There were times you thought you were alone, when silence felt like abandonment. You wondered if heaven had gone quiet, if your prayers had disappeared into an empty sky. But silence is not absence. It is sacred space where heaven listens, where destiny rearranges, where the next instruction is written. You thought you were forgotten, but God was preparing your unveiling. Every hidden season was necessary. Every quiet moment was part of heaven's rhythm. You were being equipped in secrecy for what would soon be revealed publicly. When others couldn't see your value, God did. When people overlooked your faithfulness, heaven recorded it. The angels have seen the way you've remained steadfast, even when misunderstood. You didn't need recognition to stay righteous. You didn't need applause to keep serving. That kind of quiet obedience draws heaven's attention. The unseen acts of love. You gave the encouragement no one noticed. The prayers you prayed for others. The patience you showed when tested. These are the whispers that reach God's throne. The prophet Isaiah spoke of such divine remembrance, and his words still breathe truth today. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 16. See, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me. Can you feel the weight of that? Chosen one, you are not just known, you are engraved. You are not merely remembered, you are held. The Creator himself carries your identity with him. That means nothing about your life escapes his awareness. Every detail, every heartbreak, every dream, every delay, it all rests in his sight. You were never invisible to God. You were immortalized in his design. Heaven's whisper of your name carries power. When God calls you, everything connected to you begins to shift. Closed doors begin to tremble. Chains that have held generations start to crack. The sound of your name, spoken by the divine, carries both healing and authority. You are not one of the many, you are one of his. You are heaven's voice on earth, a carrier of presence, a vessel of peace, a weapon of light. There are angels assigned to your calling. They go where you go, guard what you guard, and stand when you speak. Even when you felt defenseless, heaven was defending you. The plans of darkness were shattered long before they could touch you, because your name is covered by divine covenant. You have not survived by luck. You have survived by decree. Every attack that failed wasn't coincidence, it was protection. When you walk, you carry heaven's endorsement. That's why some people reacted strangely to you. Your spirit disturbed their comfort. The light in you exposes what's hidden in others. You don't need to apologize for being different. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to be set apart. Heaven's whisper over your life makes you stand out. And though it may isolate you for a time, it will ultimately elevate you. You must understand, the recognition you seek doesn't come from people, it comes from purpose. When heaven calls your name, earthly validation becomes irrelevant. You are not chasing fame, you are answering divine summons. Your story is being used to prove that God still raises chosen ones from the unseen. You are the proof that silence is not rejection, but preparation. Think of how many times you wanted to quit. How many times you said, "I can't keep going," and yet something invisible strengthened you again. That something was someone God's whisper sustaining you. Every time you thought it was over, He spoke your name and reminded the universe that your story wasn't finished. That whisper was your lifeline. That whisper was heaven saying, "Still mine, still chosen, still covered." Now, when heaven whispers your name, it carries a different tone, not one of rescue, but of revelation. The time of hiding is giving way to the time of showing. The same voice that whispered in secret is about to declare in public, "This is my beloved, in whom I am well pleased." Your hidden obedience has created visible favor. Your quiet seasons have prepared you for loud victories. And when the world begins to notice, remember, it was never about being seen by them. It was always about being known by Him. Heaven has whispered your name, not just so you would be recognized, but so you would remember who you are, a divine creation, handcrafted and heaven approved. Chosen one. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the noise. Your name has already been spoken in eternity. And once heaven speaks a name, nothing can erase it. Walk boldly in that truth. Let it silence your fear, steady your faith, and lift your heart. Heaven whispers your name, and every time it does, creation listens. Chosen one. Heaven celebrates you. The applause of angels is not made of sound but of light, and that light now moves around you, shimmering through the unseen as God delights in who you are becoming. You've walked through valleys of tears, climbed hills of testing, and now you stand at a sacred summit where heaven claps without noise, only with glory. This is divine applause, the acknowledgement that you have matured in secret, that your roots have grown deep enough to hold the weight of coming blessings. God smiles when He looks at you, not because you've done everything perfectly, but because you've done everything faithfully. You've obeyed when it hurt. You've stayed humble when pride whispered its invitation. You've chosen light when shadows called your name. Every moment you did good with no reward was a seed that heaven is now watering. You may not hear the applause in your ears, but your spirit feels it because it's happening right now. The prophet Zephaniah once declared words that now echo over your journey. It is written in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 17, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In His love He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." Imagine that God sings when He looks at you, the creator of galaxies, the composer of thunder and silence, sings your name in melodies the world cannot hear. The rhythm of your heartbeat is His drum. The rise and fall of your breath is His chorus. Heaven's music plays through your life story, and every act of faith adds another note to the song. But divine applause is not only about celebration, it's about recognition. Heaven acknowledges the growth that people often miss. When others only saw your mistakes, heaven saw your progress. When others criticized your weakness, heaven noticed your effort. The angels witnessed your tears and marked them as holy water. They know how many nights you whispered prayers instead of complaints. They know how many mornings you rose again when weariness told you to stop. You see, the applause of God is gentle. It comes not as noise but as peace. You'll know it's there when suddenly your heart feels lighter, your mind feels calmer, and your hope returns. That's heaven saying, "Well done, keep going." If your soul were a garden, God would be the gardener, smiling as new buds bloom through the soil. You may not notice it, but the fragrance of your perseverance is reaching others. Every word of encouragement you've spoken, every kindness you've sown, every time you've chosen grace over revenge, these are flowers growing in the field of your purpose. Heaven leans close to breathe them in. Now, imagine your life as a lighthouse on the edge of a dark coast. You've stood through storms, through waves that tried to drown your light. But because you kept shining, someone else at sea will find their way home. That is why God delights in you. You are helping others find hope by being hope. And beloved, as heaven claps for you, may I also whisper something from the heart. Every great light needs oil to keep burning. Every lighthouse needs care to stand through the wind. If these words have watered your spirit, if this message has strengthened your light, consider pouring a drop of oil back by liking, sharing, or even subscribing, so that this flow of divine encouragement reaches those still lost in the storm. And if you feel led, if your heart whispers, I want to help this light shine further, then your donation, whatever the size, becomes part of heaven's chain reaction. It's not about money, it's about ministry. Every seed sown helps another soul hear that they, too, are seen and loved. You are not just supporting content, you are fueling calling. Together, we keep the flame alive. Think of it as feeding the fire that once warmed you. Every time you share, you pass the torch. Every time you give, you become part of heaven's echo that says, yes, I believe in what God is doing here. And that simple act done quietly, sincerely, is its own form of worship. Heaven doesn't measure giving by numbers, but by heart. Whether your offering is a share, a word of encouragement, or a small contribution, it all returns multiplied in grace. The same God who sings over you blesses every act born of love. So, take this moment, chosen one. Let divine applause fill your spirit until the noise of doubt fades away. Feel heaven smiling over your life. You've come so far, and the melody of your perseverance will keep playing long after the storm. Keep walking in light. Keep shining in truth. And know this, the music of heaven hasn't stopped. It's only getting louder. Chosen one. You are no longer just surviving, you are soaring. The winds that once pushed against you are now lifting you higher. The very storms that tried to drown you have become the currents carrying you into your next dimension of destiny. Heaven has shifted your motion. You are rising, not by force, but by grace. Every lesson learned in pain is now the strength beneath your wings. Every closed door has become air beneath your ascent. There was a time when you woke up simply to endure, when each day felt like a quiet battle. You measured success by survival, just making it through another sunrise. But now, God whispers, no more crawling, no more barely holding on. This is your time to rise. You were never meant to stay grounded in fear or weighed down by worry. You were built to soar, to see from above what others can only imagine from below. The prophet Isaiah spoke of this divine rising long ago. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. These words were not poetry, they were prophecy, and they are now unfolding in you. You are stepping out of fatigue and into divine renewal. The old energy that once came from striving is being replaced by supernatural endurance. This isn't adrenaline, it's anointing. You are no longer sustained by willpower, but by the breath of God Himself. Look at how far you've come. You've carried burdens that would have crushed others. But you didn't just endure, you transformed. Like an eagle facing a storm, you spread your wings and let the wind lift you. That's what faith does. It turns resistance into elevation. Every gust that tried to push you down only taught you how to rise higher. You've learned that peace is not found in avoiding storms, but in trusting the one who commands them. Heaven celebrates you because your resilience has become revelation. You now understand that what's broken in you is not a flaw, it's a gateway for light to shine through. You have outgrown fear, and the old version of you can no longer follow where you're going. You've changed frequency. You move by spirit now, not by sight. You can feel it, can't you? The acceleration, the invisible wind beneath your purpose. Things that once took years are now happening in moments. Doors that were locked are swinging open because the divine current has shifted in your favor. You're not forcing it, it's flowing. And it's not just opportunity, it's alignment. Heaven is bringing you into places that match your new strength, your new wisdom, your new wings. Every eagle must leave the nest. You can't stay comfortable and still fulfill your calling. There's more sky waiting for you, more dreams, more souls to reach, more miracles to witness. Don't be afraid of altitude. The air is thinner. Yes, but it's purer. The view is wider. You see things differently up here. What once intimidated you now seems small from above. And as you soar, remember, this soaring is not about pride, it's about perspective. The higher you rise, the more clearly you see that it was never about your strength, it was always about His. You are not flying alone. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis hovers around you now, guiding, lifting, sustaining. There will still be days of turbulence. The sky will not always be clear. But the difference now is your altitude. You are no longer fighting on the ground, you're gliding in faith. When fear whispers, "You can't," faith answers, "Watch me." When doubt tries to pull you down, hope reminds you, "This wind was sent to lift me." Beloved, your wings are not borrowed, they are built. God has crafted you through process, and every challenge added another feather of strength. You have everything you need to stay aloft. Heaven doesn't send you where grace cannot sustain you. And in this moment, Heaven invites you to affirm your rise, to mark this shift not with fear, but with faith. If this word resonates in your spirit, if you feel that unseen lift under your heart, comment the number 888 below. 8 represents new beginnings, but 888 symbolizes divine overflow, unending renewal, and eternal motion. When you write it, you're not just typing digits, you're declaring, "I rise again and again, I soar without fear." Let the number become your symbol of flight, your seal of trust, your agreement with heaven's rhythm. Chosen one, this is your season to soar. Don't look back at the nest, your horizon is calling. Let your heart move with the wind of grace. Keep your eyes on the sky of promise and your spirit steady on the wings of faith. Heaven is proud, not because you've arrived, but because you've finally learned to fly. Chosen one, stand before the mirror for a moment, not the one that reflects your skin, but the one that reveals your spirit. What do you see? You've looked at yourself through the lens of failure, comparison, and regret for far too long. But heaven's mirror tells a different story. It doesn't show your flaws first, it shows your faith. It doesn't replay your mistakes, it reveals your making. When God looks at you, He sees beauty being restored, power awakening, and grace shaping every part of who you are becoming. The world may have taught you to see yourself through criticism, to measure worth by achievement or appearance. But the mirror of grace reflects truth, not illusion. Grace doesn't ignore your past, it transforms it. Every scar becomes a stroke of divine art. Every broken piece becomes part of the pattern. When heaven looks upon you, it sees not the fragments, but the full design. You are not a collection of wounds, you are a testimony of healing. In the sacred texts, the apostle wrote words that echo through eternity. It is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 18, "We all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." Do you see it? The transformation is ongoing, ever-increasing glory. You are still being shaped, still unfolding. There is no finish line in becoming, there is only growth. Layer upon layer, light upon light. Every day you wake up is another brushstroke of God's artistry. You are not who you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. Grace is an architect constantly refining the structure of your soul. There are moments when you feel unworthy, when the old voice whispers, "You'll never be enough." But heaven interrupts those lies. It says, "You are more than enough, because I am within you." You carry the reflection of divinity itself. You are not trying to earn worth, you are learning to see it. That is why the battle has always been in your mind. The enemy wants to distort the image you see, to make you forget what heaven knows. Chosen one, when you look into the mirror of grace, you must remember reflection is revelation. You are not just seeing what is, you are glimpsing what will be. The light on your face is the same light that hovered over the waters in the beginning, the light that brought form out of chaos. That same creative power is shaping your identity even now. You are not defined by what broke you, you are defined by who rebuilt you. You've spent years believing that healing meant perfection. But healing is actually becoming whole while still carrying the evidence of the process. The cracks in your story allow the light to escape. You are beautiful not because you have no pain, but because you've allowed pain to polish your soul into compassion. Think of gold again, before it gleams. It is dull, hidden in rock, unseen by the eye. Only through refining pressure, fire, and patience does its brilliance appear. You, too, have been through refining, and now the light of God's image shines through your humanity. You were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to be luminous. Each time you forgive, each time you choose love over bitterness, the reflection becomes clearer. Each time you surrender what you cannot control, the image of God within you grows brighter. The mirror of grace does not lie. It shows you becoming more radiant even in your weakest moments. When you stand before that mirror again, lift your chin. The reflection, looking back, is not someone barely making it. It's someone being transformed by divine design. You carry within you the evidence that God still works miracles in quiet ways. every smile you give, every word of encouragement, every small act of kindness, all of these are reflections of heaven shining through you. You are the living image of resilience. Your heart has known breaking and rebuilding, yet it still beats with faith. That is what heaven celebrates. That is why the Spirit rejoices over your journey. You are not a failure being fixed. You are a vessel being filled. The mirror of grace doesn't demand perfection, it reveals progress. And progress in the kingdom is beauty. So, when doubt whispers again, when your reflection seems blurred by pain or fear, remember this: heaven's mirror never lies. You are being transformed, and transformation takes time. One day, you will look back and barely recognize the person who once doubted so much, because by then, the reflection will be pure light. Chosen one, breathe. You are enough right now, in this moment, because God's image is alive in you. You don't need to strive to become perfect, you only need to keep reflecting His love. The more you focus on Him, the more clearly you'll see yourself. The mirror of grace will never condemn you. It will always remind you you are still becoming, and you are already beloved, chosen one. Every voice that ever told you you were not enough is fading now. The echo of doubt, the whispers of unworthiness, the words that pierced your confidence, all of them are losing their power in the light of truth. You've spent too long trying to silence the noise by proving your value. But heaven is teaching you that your worth was never something to earn. It was something already spoken before your first breath. There is a battle that happens in silence, a war not of flesh, but of thought. The mind becomes a field where lies masquerade as truth. You're too late. You're not gifted enough. You'll never change. Those are not God's words. They are the residue of old wounds trying to speak again. But their time is ending. A greater voice is rising within you, steady and sure, declaring who you are through divine authority. It is written in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 32, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." This truth is not a concept, it is a person. It is the voice of heaven within you, calling you by your real name, beloved, redeemed, chosen. Every time you align with that voice, chains begin to fall. Every time you reject the lie and choose truth instead, your spirit grows stronger. Your light grows brighter. Freedom is not just the absence of bondage, it is the awareness of who you really are. The lies that once defined you are being dismantled. The labels that others placed on you, too emotional, too broken, too different, were never heaven's labels. God never called you by your wounds, He called you by your worth. Every false word that ever tried to shape your identity is being erased by the hand of truth. Heaven is rewriting your story, line by line, with grace as the ink. You see, the enemy doesn't fear your past, he fears your realization. He trembles when you remember who you are, because when you stand in truth, you stand in authority. Lies only have power when they are believed, and once you stop believing them, they dissolve like smoke in sunlight. You are not who the world says you are who God says you are. And that revelation changes everything. Think about how many times the voice of doubt spoke louder than the whisper of faith. It said, "You'll fail again." Yet you didn't. It said, "You'll never heal." Yet here you are, stronger, softer, wiser. The fact that you're still here is proof that truth has been working in you, even when you didn't realize it. Every battle of the mind you've overcome has trained you to recognize the real from the false, the divine from the deceptive. Now, when fear tries to speak, you recognize its tone. When shame tries to return, you notice its disguise. You no longer fall for the same lies because your spirit has matured. That is freedom's spiritual awareness. The ability to discern light even in darkness. You're learning to pause, to breathe, to let truth answer before your pain does. There is something holy about this awareness. You've moved beyond reacting to every attack. Now you stand, steady and unshaken, knowing that truth is your defense. You no longer chase validation, you rest in revelation. The moment you stopped trying to prove your worth was the moment you began to live in peace. You discovered that you don't need to be louder than the lies, you only need to live truer than them. The voices of doubt will still try to visit, but they will not stay. You've changed the atmosphere of your mind. It used to echo with anxiety, now it hums with peace. That's what happens when truth becomes your home. You've built a sanctuary inside yourself where God's voice dwells, a quiet, steady place that no accusation can reach. The truth you now know is not fragile. It doesn't waver with opinions or crumble under rejection. It stands because it is eternal. You are free not because life is easy, but because your heart is anchored. The storms may still come, but they cannot uproot what's planted in truth. Chosen one, let this be your reminder. Your worth was sealed long before anyone could question it. You don't need to argue with darkness, you simply have to shine. Every time you walk in love, every time you choose forgiveness, every time you speak kindness in the face of cruelty, you are silencing lies without a single word. That is truth in motion. So, walk boldly now. The voices that once tormented you will become quiet spectators to your rising. The noise will fade, but your truth will remain. And when you hear that ancient whisper again, remember, it has no authority anymore. The light in you has spoken louder. Chosen one, though the world cannot see it. There is a crown upon your head. It is not made of gold or silver, but of endurance and obedience, each gem placed by heaven itself. You have walked through shadows, and yet you carried yourself as royalty even when no one recognized it. You did not need a throne to be chosen. Your faith alone marked you as divine royalty. You may not feel like it, but the unseen realm knows exactly who you are. You walk as one crowned with purpose, covered with light that terrifies darkness. There were days when you bowed under the weight of life, thinking your posture was defeat. But heaven saw it differently. Every time you bent to pray, you were being crowned. Every time you chose humility over pride, heaven lowered another jewel onto your head. The world may have tried to strip you of identity, but your crown was never placed by human hands. It cannot be removed by human words. The Spirit declared this truth through the vision of Revelation. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Be faithful, even to the point of death, and I will give you the crown of life. That is the promise, the eternal mark of divine reward for endurance. But this crown you wear is not only for eternity, it is symbolic now. It represents authority, favor, and spiritual victory in the present. You are walking proof that perseverance produces power. The longer you've endured, the brighter your crown shines. You've faced betrayals, yet you remained kind. You've endured injustice, yet you stayed pure in heart. You've wept in silence, but still lifted your hands in praise. All of it has added weight to your glory. Your suffering was never wasted. It became the shaping tool for your royal posture. That's why you can now stand tall, not in arrogance, but in awareness. You are not trying to become royalty. You already are. There is something about a crowned one that makes both heaven and hell take notice. The enemy fears you not because of your strength, but because of your identity. He remembers the day heaven placed a mark on your life. And ever since, he has tried to make you forget it. Every lie of your unworthy was an attempt to knock the crown from your head. But here's the truth, it never fell. It only grew heavier with honor. Chosen one. Your crown represents survival through surrender. It is not polished by ease, but by endurance. And now, as the light of purpose catches its surface, it reflects glory back into the world. You were never meant to hide it under shame. You were meant to wear it openly, not for pride, but as testimony. Let others see that brokenness can still birth beauty, that crushed hearts can still carry crowns. You carry yourself differently now, don't you? Not because you think you're above others, but because you finally know who walks with you. Every step is measured, every word more intentional. You've become aware that heaven has entrusted you with influence. Your presence brings calm. Your silence carries weight, even when you don't speak. Your spirit communicates hope. You are the living reminder that the throne belongs to those who bow, that crowns are given to those who serve. Your authority comes from compassion. The more you love, the higher heaven lifts you. The world may never understand it, but heaven does. Humility is the highest honor, and you wear it well. But your crown is not for display, it is for duty. You've been entrusted with light to guide others through darkness. When you enter a room, peace follows. When you pray, chains break. When you speak life into someone weary, heaven moves through your words. You carry something sacred, an invisible authority born from obedience. So today, acknowledge it. Don't shrink back from your radiance. Don't dim your spirit to fit in with those still hiding from theirs. Walk boldly but gently, knowing that your crown is evidence of survival. Let it remind you that you are both warrior and worshipper, both servant and sovereign. And if this word touches your spirit, if something within you stirs with the awareness of who you've become, then type these words below: I wear light. Write it not as a statement of pride, but as a prophetic act. When you declare, I wear light, you are saying, I remember my crown. I choose to shine, not shrink. Let that comment be your symbol of identity, your quiet affirmation that heaven's royalty lives within you. For the darkness cannot extinguish one who wears divine light. Walk tall, chosen one. You were never ordinary. You've been crowned in the secret place, and now it's time the world sees what heaven already knows. Chosen one. There is something extraordinary that happens when you enter a room. The atmosphere shifts not because of your title, not because of what you own, but because of what you carry. Light walks in with you. It doesn't shout or demand attention, yet everything around it adjusts. The shadows retreat. The heavy air lifts. Even silence feels sacred when you are present, because heaven's spirit moves through your presence. You are a walking temple of light, an instrument of divine atmosphere. You've wondered before why certain people react to you without reason, why some are drawn to you and others resist you. It's because your light reveals what's hidden. Darkness feels uneasy in the presence of truth. But you must not dim yourself to make others comfortable. You were created to be illumination, not imitation. Wherever you go, you bring heaven's current into earthly spaces. As the Apostle Paul reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 8, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light." These are not poetic words, they are divine instructions. You were never meant to blend into the horizon, you were meant to stand on it. You are not a flickering candle struggling against the wind, you are the lighthouse built upon the rock. Ships lost at sea depend on the glow of your endurance. Every word of encouragement you've spoken, every act of compassion you've given, is a beam of light reaching someone's darkness. Your smile can soften walls built over years. Your forgiveness can break chains invisible to the eye. When you choose peace over argument, when you offer kindness instead of retaliation, heaven multiplies that gesture into ripples of light that move far beyond your sight. You are the quiet miracle worker who carries heaven's warmth into cold places. You may not see it, but people feel it. There are souls who left your presence lighter than they came, because your words reminded them of hope. There are hearts that decided to keep living because your light brushed against their shadows. You are not simply surviving, you are radiating purpose. The world is darker now than ever, and that's exactly why your glow matters. You don't have to shout to shine. Just being consistent in love, truthful in speech, gentle in spirit, that is enough to change atmospheres. Heaven doesn't measure light by volume, it measures it by impact. Think of your life as a lantern in the hands of God. Every time you forgive, He adds oil. Every time you love, the flame brightens. Every time you serve, the glow reaches farther. And even when storms come and the wind howls, the flame does not die, it dances. The same wind meant to extinguish you becomes the rhythm that strengthens your burn. And now, beloved, if this flame that burns within you has been nurtured or reignited through these words, if you felt your hope rekindled, consider this: flames stay alive when they are shared. When you like, you give oxygen to light. When you share, you help that light travel further, touching hearts you may never meet. When you subscribe, you help build a lantern of continuous encouragement for all the weary travelers still searching for home. And if you ever feel led to donate, see it not as a transaction, but as tending to the fire. It's like laying another log upon a sacred bonfire. Your act fuels the warmth that reaches others lost in the cold. Every seed of generosity becomes a spark in someone else's night. You may never know whose darkness your kindness illuminates, but heaven will. You are part of this light work. This message is not just for you, it moves through you. You are both the recipient and the reflector. The more you give light, the more light you receive. That is the divine cycle. It never runs out, it multiplies. Let this truth sink in. Even the smallest candle can challenge the largest shadow. Never underestimate the quiet glow of a faithful heart. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more luminescence. And that is what you bring. So keep shining. Keep walking into rooms like a sunrise after a long night. Your consistency is your sermon. Your gentleness is your gospel. The broken world will always need what you carry: hope disguised as light, love disguised as presence, faith disguised as peace. And as you continue this journey, Remember, the light in you is eternal. It was lit by heaven's own breath and cannot be extinguished by earthly storms. You are not just the light of the world. You are a reflection of the light of the world. Carry that truth gently, proudly, faithfully. Chosen one, something sacred is happening within you, the sound of chains breaking, the vibration of generations shifting. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit feels it. The weight that once held your family line, the patterns that trapped those before you, are losing their grip because you dared to believe differently. You are the one God chose to interrupt the cycle. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. Heaven calls you a liberator in disguise. It's never easy being the first to break something that's been accepted for so long. Generational pain is stubborn. It hides beneath traditions, beneath silence, beneath the phrase, "That's just how we are." But deep inside you, something refused to agree with it. You felt the dissonance, the holy discomfort that told you, "This ends with me." That moment of recognition was the spark of deliverance. God planted courage in your bloodline through you. The Apostle Paul wrote of such freedom in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." These words echo across generations, and now they echo through yours. The slavery may not be physical, it may be emotional, spiritual, or mental, but the principle remains. Whatever enslaved your ancestors will not enslave you. The patterns that repeated fear, shame, addiction, silence meet their expiration in your obedience. You are the reset point heaven has been waiting for. It's not an easy calling. The first to break the chain often bears the deepest resistance. You felt it, the pushback from family, the misunderstanding from friends, the loneliness of walking a road few recognize. But remember, this breaking patterns requires pressure. Diamonds form under the same conditions. You are that diamond, formed through generations of struggle, but shining with the light of redemption. You've questioned why your path has felt heavier than others, why your heart seems to carry both your pain and the pain of those who came before you. It's because your spirit was built to bear it. You carry an anointing for transformation, and that kind of grace is weighty. But the burden that once crushed your ancestors becomes the strength that crowns you. You are not cursed, you are called. Look back for a moment, not to dwell, but to recognize the addictions, the anger, the hopelessness that ran through your lineage met their match when you started praying. The night you cried out in surrender was the night heaven declared, "It breaks now." You are not fighting alone. Heaven has joined you. Angels stand guard over your obedience, because your obedience has generational consequences. Every time you forgive, you undo years of bitterness. Every time you choose honesty, you correct decades of deception. Every time you show love, you rewrite the story of rejection. These may seem like small acts, but in the spirit, they are seismic. You are literally shifting history. The unseen world watches in awe because a single human heart aligned with heaven is more powerful than any curse spoken by man. You are not only breaking chains, you are building legacy. The children who come after you will not carry what you carried. They will inherit peace instead of trauma, courage instead of fear, faith instead of confusion. Your endurance is their inheritance. What you've endured in private will become their public blessing. Heaven is proud of you for saying yes to this unseen assignment. It is no small thing to be the first in your bloodline to choose freedom. There will be moments when the old pain tries to visit again, when familiar temptations knock softly at the door of your mind. But remember, broken chains still rattle. Noise does not mean bondage. It's just the sound of loose metal falling away. Don't be afraid of the echoes. Keep walking forward, the sound will fade. There will come a day when you realize that the heaviness you once felt is gone. You will notice it not through grand miracles, but in the small peace of an ordinary morning. You'll wake up and realize your breath feels lighter, your thoughts calmer. That is what freedom sounds like, silence where chaos once screamed. That is your reward for staying faithful. Chosen one. The world may not understand what you've carried, but heaven does. You've been heaven's secret weapon, planted in a family line to do what no one else dared. You may not see the full fruit of your obedience yet, but it is growing. The soil beneath your feet is changing because of your steps. So, stand tall in your deliverance. Let the world see what it looks like when a soul decides that the cycle stops here. You are proof that grace is greater than history. And though the chains of the past may have left marks, those marks now shine like medals of victory. You have not only survived, you have shifted destiny. Chosen one. Can you feel it? The pace of heaven has quickened around you. What once moved slowly is now accelerating. Doors that were sealed shut for years are beginning to unlock with a single touch. Opportunities that once required endless waiting are appearing suddenly, as if time itself has bent to divine command. This is not coincidence, this is prophetic acceleration. The delays have expired, and the season of divine movement has begun. You have waited with patience that only heaven could give. You've stood still while others rushed ahead, trusting that your timeline was not theirs. You've wondered if you missed something, if maybe God forgot. But he didn't. Every delay had design. Every pause was a setup for this very moment. You were never being denied. You were being prepared. Heaven needed the roots of your character to be deep enough to hold the weight of coming blessings. Now that foundation is ready, and the movement begins. The prophet Habakkuk wrote of such timing. It is written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, for it will surely come, it will not delay. These are not just comforting words, they are a divine law. What is meant for you cannot remain hidden forever. It must manifest when the appointed moment arrives. And now, that appointed moment is unfolding before you. The things you've prayed for are not just near, they are aligning. What was once scattered is being gathered. What was slow is now swift. But remember this. Chosen one, divine acceleration is not chaos, it's precision. When heaven moves fast, it moves with purpose. That's why you had to learn patience first. Impatience cannot survive in blessing. You needed to know how to handle sudden favor with humility, how to hold acceleration without arrogance. Now, heaven trusts you with speed because it knows your heart will stay steady. The signs of acceleration are subtle but undeniable. You'll start noticing divine coincidences, moments that feel orchestrated beyond logic. A conversation that opens a door, a rejection that leads to redirection, a delay that reveals a better way. This is how heaven weaves miracles invisibly. Then suddenly, even the people connected to your purpose are beginning to appear. Those who are meant to walk with you in this next phase are being drawn to your frequency. The ones who no longer align will naturally fade. Not out of conflict, but out of completion. Don't mourn what ends in this season. It's just heaven rearranging the cast for the next act of your story. You might feel the momentum opportunities unfolding so fast it almost feels overwhelming. But don't panic. Remember, acceleration is not about speed alone, it's about synchronization. Everything is moving because heaven has declared it time. The doors opening now are not random, they are prophetic doors prepared long before you ever prayed for them. You are walking in divine rhythm. Heaven's timing is aligning your steps. You are not behind, you are precisely where you need to be. Every detour you thought wasted time actually prepared your route. Every waiting season was divine training. God never forgot you. He was refining you for the quick work ahead. In this season, grace will do what effort couldn't. You'll see progress that doesn't make sense on paper. You'll accomplish in weeks what once took years. You'll look back and realize that God didn't just restore time, He redeemed it. What you thought was lost is being returned with interest. The delays were seeds. And now, harvest comes quickly. Chosen one. Don't fear the speed. Flow with it. When the wind of favor blows, don't resist it by overthinking. Spread your wings. When opportunities call, don't question your readiness. God wouldn't have opened the door if you weren't prepared to walk through it. This is your suddenly season. And suddenly doesn't mean reckless, it means right on time. But remember, acceleration is not for selfish gain, it's for divine purpose. The reason heaven is moving you forward is because there are lives attached to your obedience. The faster you align, the faster others are freed. Your yes has a ripple effect. Every step you take in faith becomes a bridge for others to cross into their destiny. If this word stirs something deep inside you, if you feel the confirmation that your waiting season is ending, then, as an act of agreement, comment the number 555 below. 5 has always symbolized grace. But 555 represents triple grace, a divine surge of mercy, favor, and alignment. When you write it, you're declaring, I move with heaven's rhythm. I step into divine acceleration with grace, not fear. Let that number be your signature of surrender to perfect timing. You are no longer stuck. The walls that once stood tall are crumbling, not by your strength but by divine decree. You are walking into rooms that were built with your name on them before you were born. The pace has changed, but your peace will remain. Move forward. Chosen one, the hour of acceleration is here, and heaven is smiling as you finally step into full motion. Chosen one, heaven has never lost sight of you. Every act of faith, every whispered prayer, every tear that fell unseen, it's all been recorded, not in the fragile ink of time, but in the eternal records of heaven. Nothing you've done in love has been forgotten. Nothing you've endured for righteousness' sake has been overlooked. You are written into the divine story, not as a background character, but as one of heaven's favored witnesses of faith. There are moments when you've wondered if what you've done even matters, if the prayers you prayed for others when no one thanked you, if the kindness you showed that was never returned, if the seeds you planted that never seemed to sprout, were they seen? Did God notice? The answer, whispered from eternity, is yes. Heaven keeps detailed accounts of every act born of love. The apostle wrote this reminder in his letter to the Hebrews. chapter 6, verse 10, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. This is the assurance of heaven's record keeper. You may forget the good you've done, but God never does. Every moment of obedience, every decision to choose faith over fear, every time you chose compassion over comfort, heaven documented it. You are more known than you can imagine. The angels have seen your persistence. The Lord himself has smiled at your resilience. Heaven's record-keeping is not about judgment, it's about remembrance. It is love's archive, your victories, your recoveries, your sacrifices, your growth. Even the moments you thought were small, holding the door for a stranger, offering encouragement, forgiving someone who hurt you deeply, each of these acts shines like constellations in heaven's record of light. Your story is not just written in the pages of time, but engraved in the heart of eternity. When God looks at you, he doesn't just see where you are, he sees the full timeline of your faithfulness. He remembers when you believed even while trembling. He recalls every time you worshipped through tears. These are not forgotten moments, they are sacred history. Sometimes it feels like no one appreciates the quiet battles you've fought. People celebrate the visible victories, but heaven honors the invisible ones, the ones where you said no to temptation, where you stayed kind under pressure, where you refused bitterness even when betrayal cut deep. These hidden victories are precious to God. They are not wasted effort. They are eternal evidence of transformation. Chosen one. Heaven's record of your life is not written in condemnation, but in celebration. You are not remembered for your failures. You are remembered for your faith, even when you stumbled. Heaven recorded how you stood back up, even when you wept. Heaven recorded the courage it took to keep walking. You are not a story of perfection, you are a story of perseverance. And that story inspires more than you know. The prayers you prayed are still echoing through generations. The people you touched without realizing are still being guided by your light. You've started ripples in eternity that will keep moving long after your name is forgotten by men. Heaven never loses what humans overlook. There are books in heaven filled with the testimonies of the faithful. Your name is among them not because of grandeur, but because of grace. The pages describing your journey are fragrant with mercy. The ink is made of tears, redeemed by love. The margins are filled with the laughter of angels who rejoiced every time you chose faith instead of fear. That's how intimately you are known. It's hard to imagine that the infinite God takes time to record our small acts. But that is the mystery of divine love. It notices the details. When you gave without expecting anything in return, that was written. When you forgave before hearing an apology, that was written. When you chose to believe one more day, even after disappointment, that too was written. Nothing slips through the cracks of divine remembrance. And one day, when this earthly journey concludes, heaven will unfold those records not to shame, but to honor. You will see your life from heaven's perspective, and it will leave you breathless. You will finally understand how your smallest yes changed the course of destinies. You will see how your hidden faith moved mountains in realms unseen. You will realize that nothing was for nothing. So, do not grow weary in doing good. Keep walking, even when applause is silent. Keep giving, even when thanks is absent. Keep believing, even when results seem distant. Heaven's record keeper is still writing, still watching, still counting every moment of faith. Chosen one, your story is sacred. Every step has purpose. Every moment of faith is another line in heaven's scroll of remembrance. When you finally see the fullness of what has been written, you'll understand it was all worth it. Chosen one. The season of shame is over. The cloak that once covered you in silence is slipping from your shoulders, falling to the ground like dust that no longer belongs to you. Heaven has issued a new decree over your name, one not written in accusation, but in redemption. What once felt like chains of regret now sound like broken links of deliverance. You are stepping out of the shadows you once called home. For years you carried memories that whispered failure every time joy tried to approach. The enemy wanted you to believe that your past was a prison, that what happened then would forever define who you are now. But God has been walking beside you in those hidden corridors, rewriting the script of your pain. What the world used to label as disgrace, heaven calls grace in disguise. Every wound has become a doorway for light. Every scar is an entry point for mercy to shine through. You are no longer the person who fell. You are the one who got up. The moment you turned your heart toward forgiveness, both of yourself and of others, the great reversal began. Heaven does not erase your story. It redeems it. The same chapters that once made you hide are being transformed into the very pages others will read for hope. Even now, angels trace your journey like poets, following light through darkness. They see how courage blooms where despair once lived, how your faith has become a song of defiance against fear. What was broken no longer bleeds, it breathes. You've become the living evidence that resurrection is not theory, but truth. And because of that truth, your presence carries redemption wherever you go. Every conversation, every glance, every prayer releases healing into the atmosphere. People will not always understand it, but they will feel it, the quiet strength of someone rebuilt by grace. You are heaven's restoration story, written in human form. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 7. Instead of your shame, you shall have a double portion. Instead of confusion, you shall rejoice in your inheritance. This promise is not distant, it is alive in you now. The places where you once bowed your head in regret are the same places where you will soon lift your hands in praise. God never wastes pain, He repurposes it. He is building glory on the ruins of what once broke you. Think of a potter's hands shaping clay. When the vessel cracks, he does not throw it away. He mixes the broken pieces with fresh clay, remolds it, refires it, and what emerges from the furnace is stronger and more radiant than before. That is what He is doing with your life. You are not being replaced, you are being reforged. The fragments of your past are being fused with new purpose until your story glows with divine craftsmanship. The shame that once made you silent will now become your song. There is power in the voice of the redeemed, because only those who have walked through ashes can truly sing of beauty. Every time you speak of how far God has brought you, chains break for someone else. Your honesty carries healing. What once embarrassed you will soon empower others. The world has its own way of remembering mistakes. It keeps receipts of wrongs and murmurs names with disdain. But heaven's memory is different. Heaven does not repeat the story of your sin. It repeats the story of your restoration. Angels do not whisper about where you fell. They celebrate where you stood. You are not the scandal of your past. You are the sanctuary of God's mercy. Chosen one. Take a breath. This is the air of release. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone who still clings to your old version. Redemption speaks louder than reputation. Those who once mocked will one day marvel. not because you sought revenge, but because grace transformed what bitterness could not. You don't need to prove change, you are change. Look around you, the light is different now. The same world that once felt hostile has begun to mirror your healing. Relationships may still be tender, but love is returning. Peace is growing in places where shame once built its walls. You have entered the land of double portion, not because you earned it, but because mercy multiplied it. And now, as heaven looks upon you, there is only joy. Not the fragile joy of momentary success, but the deep, a steady joy of one who knows they've been set free. That joy is your inheritance. It will follow you into every room, settle in every conversation, and whisper to every heart that still hides in guilt, redemption is real. Chosen one, stand tall in your restoration. Let the crown of grace replace the weight of regret. Walk with quiet confidence, knowing that what once humiliated you has become holy ground beneath your feet. The story of shame has ended. The story of glory has begun. Chosen one, heaven is raising your voice. The same voice that once trembled in fear is being anointed with authority. Words that used to stick in your throat are now carrying the breath of heaven. You no longer speak merely to express, you speak to awaken. There is oil on your tongue, fire in your breath, and purpose in your sound. When you speak now, atmospheres shift, not because of volume, but because of truth. You are rising as a kingdom voice, steady, clear, and charged with light. For so long, your silence was misunderstood. The world mistook your quiet for weakness, but heaven knew it was incubation. God was forming your voice in the secret place, shaping it like a sword that would one day cut through confusion and despair. Every time you stayed still, instead of speaking from pain, your spirit was sharpening. And now, the time of silence is ending. Heaven says, "Speak, and light will follow." It is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 11, "The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life." And that's exactly what you've become, a fountain. Your words are not meant to impress, they are meant to refresh. People who come near you will feel hope again, as if they've tasted clear water after a long drought. Every encouragement you share is a ripple that travels farther than you can see. The Spirit flows through your speech, and what once felt ordinary now carries eternal weight. There's power in your story. The testimony that once made you weep will soon make others worship. You're not just telling your story, you're translating heaven. When you speak, weary souls will remember that light still exists, that mercy still finds its way into broken places. Your words will heal what sermons could not. Chosen one, you may think your voice is small, but remember how the smallest seed grows into a tree that gives shade. In the same way, a single word spoken with divine love can shelter someone from despair. Don't underestimate your influence. Heaven does not measure your reach by numbers, it measures by impact. And impact often begins quietly. A whisper of encouragement at the right time can save a life. A gentle reminder of truth can melt a frozen heart. The way you speak matters not through performance, but through presence. Every syllable wrapped in compassion carries the fragrance of God. If this message has touched you, if these words have reminded you of the power you already hold, consider liking and sharing this light. You never know whose midnight your echo might reach. Each time you share, it's like releasing another lantern into a dark sky. guiding someone else toward home. When you subscribe, you're not just following, you're joining a community of souls, learning to hear heaven together. It's a circle of light, each flame igniting another, until the world becomes brighter. The more voices join in harmony, the louder heaven's melody becomes. And if your heart ever feels stirred to donate, know that it's more than a gift, it's participation in the mission. Think of it as adding wood to a sacred fire. The warmth you've received from these words can continue burning for others because of your contribution. Every act of generosity keeps the message alive. Expanding the reach of redemption. It's not about transaction, it's transformation. Your voice is part of that transformation. You're not just a listener, you're a co-creator in this divine movement. The comment you write, the thought you share, the reflection you post each becomes a seed of hope that someone else may read on their hardest day. So, if something within you has stirred tonight, I invite you to comment your reflection below. Write what light has awakened in you. Speak life into the thread, because when you testify, you not only strengthen yourself, you strengthen others walking the same unseen road. Your words could be the bridge someone else needs to cross, from despair to faith. Remember, even Jesus began revolutions with conversation. His words were seeds, yours can be too. You never know which sentence will bloom into someone's healing. Every time you release truth into the world, you partner with heaven's mission. You are not speaking for applause, you are speaking for alignment. Chosen one, your voice is sacred. Guard it. Use it. Bless with it. Let it pour like rain upon dry ground. Let it ring like bells that call the weary home. You are a messenger, not because of eloquence, but because of essence. When you speak, light recognizes light. And when you finish speaking, may your silence also carry power, the quiet assurance that God is not done. Your words will linger like incense in the atmosphere, traveling far beyond what eyes can see. So lift your head, breathe deep, and release what heaven places on your tongue. The world needs your sound. And when you feel the weight of that calling, remember every voice that speaks truth echoes forever. Chosen one, the training was never in vain. Every long night, every unanswered prayer, every hidden struggle, it was all part of your preparation. You've walked through seasons that felt like silence, but heaven was shaping your spirit in those quiet hours. You've been through deserts that felt endless, but the desert was your classroom. You've learned to hear God not in the thunder, but in the whisper. And now, you finally understand every season was royal training. You were never wandering, you were being equipped. Every lesson you learned, even the painful ones, has added something to your crown. Patience became a jewel. Humility became gold. Wisdom became silver that reflects heaven's light. Your waiting wasn't wasted. It was weaving together the fabric of your purpose. What once felt like delay was actually divine design. Your steps were being aligned with eternal timing. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10, "You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they shall reign on the earth." That verse is more than a promise, it's a revelation of identity. You are not only chosen, you are commissioned. You were never meant to drift through life wondering if you mattered. You were made to reign not through dominance, but through divine stewardship. To reign means to walk with authority that serves, to lead with compassion that heals, to influence with humility that honors God. That is the calling of those crowned in purpose. Every hardship you endured was training for that reign. The times you were misunderstood taught you how to extend mercy. The moments you were overlooked taught you how to recognize others who are unseen. The pain you carried taught you empathy, the kind of empathy that makes heaven trust you with people's hearts. You had to be shaped by pressure so that your influence would be pure when power arrived. Chosen one. There's something majestic about divine process. You can't rush it, because crowns made too quickly crumble too easily. God had to take his time with you, ensuring your heart could carry what your hands will soon hold. Every waiting room became a throne room in disguise. Every disappointment was a refining fire, removing what could not stay. And now, look at you. You no longer chase validation. You no longer seek approval from places that once rejected you. You move differently, now quieter, steadier, wiser. You've learned that kings and queens of the spirit do not prove their worth, they embody it. You walk with quiet confidence because you finally see your own reflection through heaven's eyes. You are a ruler in realms unseen, not of people, but of purpose. Your authority is not control, it's influence born from integrity. When you speak, truth flows naturally. When you act, heaven echoes. You have learned that to reign is to serve from strength, not to demand from fear. You are leading lives even without realizing it through your consistency, your peace, your refusal to give up. Every crown must be carried with balance. The higher you rise, the deeper your roots must go. That's why God taught you stillness before success, surrender before strategy. You had to learn that authority without humility is dangerous. And now, heaven can trust you with more, because your character has been carved by surrender. Crowned in purpose does not mean life will be without battle. It means you now fight from victory, not for it. You understand that every trial ahead is simply a stage for grace to perform again. You no longer fear loss because you know that everything surrendered to God returns refined. You no longer fear delay because you've seen what he does with time. Think of the lion in the wild, majestic, powerful, yet patient. It does not chase every sound in the jungle. It moves with discernment. That is who you are becoming, a soul so anchored in calling that chaos cannot lure it. You know when to roar and when to rest. You know when to move and when to wait. That balance is the mark of divine maturity. Chosen one. Your purpose is not in the future, it's unfolding now. Every day you walk in love. Every moment you choose peace over pride. Every time you forgive instead of retaliate, you are reigning. You are manifesting heaven's order in a world desperate for it. You may not wear a visible crown, but your spirit carries the weight of divine royalty. So, lift your head. You have graduated from wandering to ruling, from questioning to understanding. Your crown doesn't make you untouchable, it makes you responsible. The more light you carry, the more you must guard your humility. But even that you've learned, because your crown was forged in suffering, not comfort. It was shaped by grace, not greed. This is who you are now, calm but courageous, gentle but unshakable, crowned yet surrendered. You reign not to be worshipped, but to reflect the one who gave you the crown. And every time you walk in purpose, heaven bows in agreement. Chosen one. Heaven stands still for a moment when God looks at you. There is a quiet joy that moves through eternity, a kind of divine pride that words can barely describe. You have walked through fire and emerged not bitter, but brighter. You have been pressed, yet not crushed, broken, yet not destroyed. Every scar on your soul now glows with holy light, and every wound has turned into wisdom. This is the Father's pride, not that you are perfect, but that you are becoming. There is a stillness in heaven when the Father speaks your name. He does not whisper it with regret, but with tenderness. He says, "Look at my child, look at what love has done." The angels remember who you used to be, how you used to hide, how doubt used to weigh you down. But now they watch as you stand in the fullness of grace, clothed in strength you didn't even know you possessed. They see the transformation that only divine love could accomplish. It is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 23, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord." These are not distant words reserved for eternity. They are the heartbeat of heaven even now. You have been faithful over your few things, faithful in prayer when no one knew, faithful in hope when everything seemed hopeless, faithful in love when your heart was still healing. And because of that faithfulness, God is expanding your territory. You have proven that you can carry light without arrogance, power without pride, blessing without forgetting where you came from. You have become a living testimony of restoration. There was a time when you questioned if God was even proud of you, when the silence of unanswered prayers made you feel small. But He was never disappointed in your weakness. He was proud of your persistence. The Father's pride is not based on perfection. It's rooted in your willingness to keep trying when quitting felt easier. Every yes whispered through tears became a song in heaven. Chosen one, you are heaven's evidence that grace works. Look at your journey, how far you've come from who you used to be. The doubts that once controlled you have lost their grip. The fears that once froze you now bow before your faith. You've learned to move slower, to listen deeper, to trust longer. These are signs of maturity, proof that divine craftsmanship has been shaping your soul. The Father delights in your endurance. Every step forward, even the smallest one, is celebrated in the courts of heaven. Angels rejoice not over grand victories alone, but over quiet obedience, the days you chose faithfulness over recognition, service over status, stillness over panic. Those moments are heaven's favorite scenes in your story. And you, dear one, have written a beautiful story, not through perfection, but through perseverance, not through ease, but through endurance. You've learned to let go of control and embrace the mystery of grace. You've learned to walk by faith even when visibility vanished. That surrender, humble, holy, and human, is what delights the heart of God. Now, the Father's gaze rests on you with pride, not for what you have done, but for who you are becoming. You are no longer a survivor, you are a vessel of divine strength. You have not just believed in God, you have become evidence of His belief in humanity. You have proven that faith still works, that love still heals, that hope still rises. There is a peace coming over your life now, the peace that comes when heaven knows you've passed the test. You've learned to carry light through the valley, to sing even when surrounded by silence. That kind of faith cannot be taught. It is forged through fire and tears. The Father sees it. He knows the cost of your obedience. and he honors it with his presence. Heaven's pride is quiet, but its presence is undeniable. It surrounds you like warmth, not performance. It doesn't demand applause, it simply exists, constant and pure. God doesn't love you because you've succeeded. He loves you because you've surrendered. And in that surrender, he sees himself reflected in you, chosen one. When the Father looks at you, he sees more than the struggles. You are his poetry in progress. You are the melody he hums when creation grows silent. You are the canvas still being painted, the vessel still being filled. Every line of your life carries his fingerprints. And now, the painting glows with completion, not because it is flawless, but because it is whole. There will still be mountains to climb, valleys to cross, and lessons to learn. But you will face them differently now, with a quiet knowing that heaven is proud of you. Not only for where you are, but for every step that got you here. The storms no longer define you. They confirm your strength. The wilderness no longer frightens you. It reminds you of where you met God, face to face. This is the beauty of your becoming. The Father delights not just in your destination, but in your devotion. You have become a reflection of his patience, his power, and his promise. Heaven rejoices, not because you've arrived, but because you finally understand you were never walking alone. And now, in the great silence of grace, heaven whispers one more time, I am proud of you, my chosen one. Keep shining, keep growing, keep becoming. Beloved chosen one, take a moment and breathe. Let the stillness wrap around you like a warm cloak after a long journey. You have walked through every valley, climbed every mountain, faced every mirror, and discovered that heaven's love has followed you the entire way. What began as a whisper of purpose has now become a living flame within you. You are the living testimony that divine process works, that broken things can glow again, that weary hearts can still sing. You have become more than a listener. You are now a carrier of light. Heaven's words have not merely touched you, they have rooted themselves in your soul. You walk differently now. The way you think, the way you love, the way you hope, all of it has shifted into alignment with divine rhythm. And heaven watches, smiling, because this is what grace was always meant to look like, a life transformed by quiet faithfulness. The Father has not just spoken over you, he continues to speak through you. Every kind word you share, every moment you choose peace instead of pride, every time you forgive when it hurts, these are the new echoes of heaven resonating through your life. You are no longer just chosen, you are commissioned. You carry the fragrance of divine love into every space you enter. You are a messenger of mercy in a world starving for hope. And if along this journey your heart has been touched, if you have felt heaven brushing against your spirit through these words, let this be the moment you pass that light forward. When you like, you add your own spark to the fire. When you share, you release hope into someone's darkness. When you subscribe, you choose to stay connected to a flow of divine encouragement that never runs dry. Every small act of engagement becomes a seed of light that travels farther than you can imagine. And don't just read in silence, comment your reflection below. Speak what stirred you, even in a few words. Your testimony might be the sentence someone else needs to read at midnight to keep believing. You never know whose heart will be lifted because you decided to speak. Your story still carries healing power. This isn't just a channel, it's a circle of light souls connected by faith. held together by grace. And if you ever feel led to donate, do it not out of obligation, but out of joy. Consider it adding oil to a lamp that continues to burn for others still searching for warmth. Your generosity becomes a ripple of light, reaching corners where hope has been forgotten. So, as you step away from these words, know this: heaven walks with you. The same presence that whispered begin will stay with you until the end. You are never alone, never unseen, never unloved. The Father is proud, the angels rejoice, and all creation leans forward to see what you will do next. Go, chosen one, shine gently, speak wisely, love fiercely, and let the light that has found you find others through you.